5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello guys and welcome back to KarneeKarnay Plays Victoria 2 Popular Demand mod. So the reason I'm playing this episode is going to be a little bit more special than the others is because I decided to take this one back to the bare basics. One of the most popular videos was actually, strange enough, my first Colombia video. So I decided, whilst we're playing this, I'm just going to slow it down a bit. You know, for the first couple of minutes we're just going to talk about some of the basics of the game. Right, so here we are. So, where we left off, I had just taken, was it Tuscany? Yeah, I just taken Tuscany, and I had plans to go on to Romagana, or Papa States. I am apologising well in advance for any Italian friends. I know Mrs. Karnee has an Italian friend. He would be very annoyed at my pronunciation of this. So, as things currently stand, we're... Let me just check. I thought we were just about to launch an event that would make France our ally. Are France our ally? They're not. Okay. Because I thought we were getting... Oh no, we're getting near that event. What was it again? Milan? No. Yes, so I'll have state and government next turn, and that way I can force a war between, well... I can, you know, get France to declare war on Austria for me, which should be good because France is very strong. Austria is also strong. So this is going to be interesting, but usually with my help they can win. So, we'll just do some basics quickly. I am a secondary power right now, but if you look over here, I am the 8th greatest power in the world. So, the difference between a secondary power and a great power is you've accumulated a prestige score, industry score, and military score of a certain extent, which has elevated you beyond the common powers of regional displays, and now you are a truly global power. A great power. Global power doesn't really come much into it until much later in the game, and that's all about power projection. But for now, we'll just leave it. I'll leave that explanation as is. So prestige is divided by essentially technology and different events. Certain events will give you options that will give you prestige. Some of them will give you negative sides as well as prestige. Some of them will also give you negative prestige. Technology as well, and certain laws that are passed, they can also give prestige. So for instance, in this case I have outlawed slavery, therefore I'm more prestigious because of it. And I've reached a new ideology tech, which gives me a very, very minor percentile increase. And this will constantly be increasing. So as you notice throughout the game, you will become more and more prestigious as time comes on, just because you have these modifiers, and every nation will get these in the end, unless they're really fixed on keeping slavery, which I highly doubt. Mainly because you just tie up so much of your population in that area, it's a waste. Especially, they won't elevate, they won't learn, they won't move on to new pops, they're just a waste of time. So, these are where we are strongest right now. So right now, we are by far one of the weaker powers. In fact, we're 23rd. So just to give you an idea, there are 8 great powers, 16 secondary powers, and then everyone else is either a civilized nation or an uncivilized nation. So I'm 23, which gives you an idea that I am not that strong. I do have some more units I can build, so I am going to build them in a bit. But yeah, that's a little breakdown of how it works out, what particular power you are. So yeah, industry is, it's all based on your input and output. So if you can employ a certain, well, I say input and output, the game's industry mechanics work as, if you can employ X amount of people on your factories and you're turning a profit, then you will become a great power. But if you can only perform, you can have like the entire population of Russia on a factory, but you're not turning a profit, then you won't be making as much as someone who is. So it's all about how many people you can actually get working in your factories. which is it's not the most amazingly difficult thing to do. It's just usually, unless you're playing one of the great powers, you're really going to struggle to beat them when it comes to industrial score. Like, look, United Kingdom starts at 374. I started at something like 20. You're not really going to match up, especially when these will quickly, rapidly turn into thousands. So really, you want to focus on getting your military and prestige up. But industry is important to keep a hold of, because as time goes on, your military will get way more expensive, and normal taxation is not going to be enough. You need the industrial goods, A, to build your military, and B, to provide the funds necessary to keep them going. So, let's take a look at my production. As you can currently see, I have a few factories that are closed, which is not good for me. I want to keep these factories open as much as I can. Now, the only problem with me opening these is they weren't turning a profit earlier. Now, these are turning a bigger profit because these factories closed, which is a good thing. So I'm tempted to leave these closed. And the other reason why I'm going to leave these closed is because I can't subsidize factories. So I can't help them with their imports and exports. That's because of the Liberal Party that are currently running things in my country, which is not good. Liberals, as you probably heard from my last Let's Play, are by far the most annoying things in existence. But let's look around. So we've got a pretty good luxury clothes factory, which I quite like. The only downside with that is I've started fairly early with it. As time goes on, this will make me more money. But if you start building these rapidly, places like the UK, which are also building these, or France or anywhere else, you're going to lose out to them because they just have more sway in the market. Their influence over other nations is stronger, therefore the other nations' markets will buy from them first. Therefore, if anyone in their nation needs the luxury goods, they're going to come from them. That consequently means that if I overstretch this factory, so if I keep increasing it in size, or helping it increase in size, I can't do that anymore, it will lead to problems. Likewise, every time you increase a factory size, the amount of income, the amount of goods they need to function and export to make a profit increases as well. So you've got to be careful about increasing the size of these, and sometimes the AI capitalists will actually increase the size of factories to a monumental extent without you, to the point where they can just collapse. It does happen. So right now, lots of unemployment in Savoy and Toscana. I'm going to need to change that as soon as. Can't have all those people unemployed. They will become unhappy and they will declare a war against me. Or just revolt. They're revolting. Damn right they are. So, as you can see here, I have a little readout of the amount of people that are currently unemployed. That's a big amount, and that needs to change. And all my factories. As time goes on, the people who are unemployed may gravitate to more other regions where the factories are and need workers, but it's debatable how big an increase that is. So that's my production. Budget-wise, I've got the taxation down on the rich, taxation down in the middle, and I'm taxing the poor up by 50 to about half of my possible taxable amount. So with that, I'm making a good chunk of income. Some people would recommend taxing all the way to get that big war chest ready for when times of crisis break out, but I personally like leaving it like this because as time goes on, these guys we're going to promote to this class, the middle class, and then these guys are going to promote to the rich. And the reason why the rich aren't getting taxed so much is because when these guys promote and become capitalists, they will invest in factories employing these guys, and the circle will go on and on and on. But to stop these guys from taking all the wealth and keeping that, I will eventually be increasing taxes on them hard and then dropping it in the middle, so that rich will generally, people from the middle class will keep promoting, the poor class will keep promoting, and these guys may demote, but for the most part, too many from the middle will keep promoting, so it won't be a huge loss. As you see, things are pretty good right now in my country. So, if you look over here, I have a stockpile of military costs of 121, so you can see how much everything is costing me. When you start taking into account ships, which will be by far the most expensive things, except maybe if you're a huge power like China, you won't you'll have to start worrying about those. This is my construction tab, so if I need to, and I'm building forts, I can just lower construction on them if there's not a huge priority at the time. I generally like to keep all these at max because you don't want to be caught with your pants down. Education, I keep at 80%, and administration keep at 80%. So the reason why these are kept at 80% is because if you push them to 100, then they will start to promote. They will come up to the rich class. Now, I don't want them to promote. Well, I do want them to promote eventually, but I want a large chunk of my body to be bureaucrats and clergymen, because clergymen give me my research score. Because right now I have 2.66% of my population as clergymen, which gives me 5.67 in research points, which is really good. I have 1% of my population is bureaucrats, which means I get a just under 2 research points increase, which is fantastic. And capitalists. Capitalists is going to be the most difficult one, eventually getting those guys up. But I can make I might have them up to 2% by the end of the game, which would be pretty good. So I'm not really too worried about them. But the advantage of keeping these here and not letting them promote is very good, especially until I increase literacy across the board, because I want them to be replaced. So literacy-wise, all big advantage of having clergymen in the early game not promoting here is they're increasing my literacy. So every province which has 4% clergymen, so in this province, if I were to have, let's have a look, I have 3% clergymen here, so I can increase the amount of clergy here to 4%, and that will be the maximum efficiency rate in people learning to read and write, which in turn will increase this. But the only downside is you only get research points after 2%, so the extra investment is going to cost you more. So that's why earlier on I was investing in commerce to lower the cost of administration, and that has funded my economy since. So right now we're in the build up to probably our first proper war. I took army professionalism as it's pretty good early game stats to deal with, especially if I'm fighting a war against Austria. I'm going to pretty much start building up my troops now to get ready for the war. I don't really care too much about this territory. It's not called. I do want to keep it if I can. But for the most part, priority is taking all this territory. You know, as much as I can take in one war. I might not actually be able to take South Tyrol in this first war, but you know, taking this should be enough, and then from there, life gets so much easier as an Italy player. Okay, what else did I talk about? Research. So, as I told you earlier, I had this event here, where we should seek France's help to kick Austria out of it. So this has a bunch of conditions against it, and one of those is have invented state or government or the year is 1860. So this event will always fire at 1860 regardless. I think there's like a 10% chance it won't, but I've never seen it not fire. I'm going to force it to fire 10 years earlier by getting state and government, and by doing that I should be able to kick Austria out of Italy, allowing me to call in the Expedition of 1000, which will give me some infamy, but it will pretty much just destroy all the northern Italian nations and make them mine. And then if I quickly declare war with two Sicilies, with my strong armies of the north, I will annihilate them, and then Italy will be mine. So about 1860, maybe 1865, I'm expecting to have Italy formed and under my control. So that's the game plan, people. So to that end, I will be investing in state and government after the 1850 deadline approaches. I've already been accumulating research points for the early investment into this, so I've got about 4,000 now, which will be a good start. I imagine I'll have that finished by 1852, and that will let me fire those events. Policy-wise, free trade, anti-military, I don't like that. I might need to try and hold an election and get these guys removed. I don't want to force remove them myself, because as you can see, majority of the upper house and the population voters' ideologies are liberal, which means doing that would cause big problems for me in the long run, especially if I'm planning a war. So I'm maybe going to hold an election to see how things go. don't actually know what I'm gonna wait, cause as it currently stands, they are going to win. So we're just gonna let it lead, and if I can make people anti-liberal as time goes on, I will. Okay, so population. Here you see the pop stats. Right now, as you can see, I'm investing heavily in most places with getting labour up, as well as in Toscana, increasing my amount of clergymen. So that's the newest region I've taken. What else is there? So trade-wise, we are, we do pretty good. It's probably easier just to look at it from here. We have a pretty sweet amount of coal deposits right now, and the lands in the south we just took are going to add to the amount of income we currently make. So as things go, we have a pretty good start industrially wise. We're kind of like a bigger Belgium. Belgium's a very good game, nation to play if you're planning on taking the sort of avoiding Europe and trying to just take as much of the nations out here, because you can build a pretty good colonial empire, and then you can bring that back to representing Europe when the wars do come. But I digress. I think I've talked enough for now about how the game works and the system, so let's just make a start. I'm gonna increase the speed up. Nothing much happening. Portugal's gone bankrupt. Oh no.
Same old, same old.
This says Karnee just responding, same old, same old. Argentina goes bankrupt. That is also the same old, same old. So as we're just gonna let that run. You can see the amount of money I'm currently making. I don't really have to care too much. We're gonna look at the army quickly. So I have pretty much the exact same armies. I have a naval presence over here. So I've built up a very limited navy, and the reason for that is as much as I don't want to really be doing anything in my navy until I have the technology in that region, I do recognize the opportunity, and you're not going to be able to do that sitting on Italy, because once you do take Italy, there's very little else you can do unless you're really capable of taking on Austria or France. So I might go off Tripoli at some point, because they successfully rebelled, and oh, what happened to Turkey? Turkey. Hungry now. Or maybe Morocco even. There's a lot of opportunity in this game now, surprisingly. And Greece lost their war, but Greek patriots are bringing it back. Okay, so we're just gonna let it play. As you can see, our 3 exported goods, for the most part, are coal, print, and lumber. And our 3 imported are paper, timber. So that just gives you an idea that we need some paper factories. So I'm going to go for getting 10 rules in the upper house and 1 plurality, because as much as I do want the Conservatives... Actually, no, I'm going to go for the Conservatives. I want the Conservatives running things right now. I need to fight the Liberals' scourge. War between Paraguay and Bolivia. These are kind of some good sort of immersion things. I enjoy them. Let's swap to clergymen, because we've got about 14 here. I don't really think we need any more in the factories, but we might need some more clergymen to make up the numbers. Let's bring it up to 4. Wonderful. So as things currently stand, we're going to become a great power if no one knocks us off our position in the coming days, because we are on 152 score, and the Netherlands are way behind us, and we could overtake Belgium at this point. The only bad thing is Sicily is right behind us. God dang it. I don't want Sicily's overtaking me. Oh, we've just overtaken Belgium, so we're definitely going to become great powers. I'm not sure what this will do if we're a great power and we launch some of these events. Like, I'm generally not sure, because as it currently stands, what do I need to do to unite Italy? So is not subject or is a puppet. So I could sphere everyone, and that would be a legit way of forming Italy. That might be quicker even. I'm so surprised. This is a really weird game. I've never seen this happen before. Oh, while I talk, we got distracted and forgot about our army. So, the normal army setup I've got right now is this. When medicine and everything else starts to increase... Oh, I've totally forgot. Start researching that. As medicine and everything else starts to increase, I'll probably double the size of these armies. But for now, this is a good amount. So, I'm just going to roll on in. Great. A couple of these dudes... Do you know what? No. We're going to try and be a little gamey here. So these guys are pretty good at strat and defense. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build an army of these guys. Just back up any of my forces if they're in a difficult position. Wow, okay. Wow. Madonna is now mine. Why is everyone in love with me? Jeez. They must think I'm the prettiest girl in northern Italy. This is such a weird game. We shall attend. I didn't even realise I was that high relation with them. Let's try Parma. Maybe they'll help us out. First time I've seen stuff like this happen. It's crazy. Make it so. Maybe if relations get high enough, then more of them will just leave and become part of my nation, which would be nice. Ooh, lots of reactionaries in France. Don't like the look of that if I'm going to try and get them to win a war with me. Ooh, have I forgot to set this to anything? Set that back to clergyman. A weird game. French Revolution, unrest in France, reached its heights. Streaming, blah blah blah. Now we have the task of building a new government. So now France is a democracy. And dealing with reactionaries everywhere. Well, good luck to them. I need them to deal with that. France, get it together. Oh, as my general rule of thumb, keep using these diplomacy points. You never know when you're going to need an ally in a useful place. Just don't bother with Austria, because you're going to have to declare a war for them anyway. It's one of those things. For Italy to live, Austria must die. I'm sorry, Austria, but it's gotta go. So let's take our army of horse and art. We'll position them all there and I'll sort them out later. Well, it just occurred to me, if these are both very, very slow. Yeah, so these are just a general art group. Oh, that does... okay, I'm gonna have to rebuild some of this. You see, I was all fine, all well and happy, right up until Modena decided it wanted to be a part of me. I wasn't going to say no. There we go. I mean, greater relations. Woohoo! Allies all over the place. But now it exposed a very soft underbelly. Okay, no, actually I'm going to leave these dudes here, because if they can just hold, I can use my... mobilized forces to come up and help keep an eye on this position. So we're about halfway through, so about the end of 1850. We're a great power, woohoo! Stop tour. Right, so just in case. Okay, why not? Here we go, get some sweet prestige. We need to take everything, so yeah. Focus on them, because if I can get them quick, then it makes life easier. Plus, I don't think anyone else can really fight me because we're on the same peninsula. So in general, we should be fairly easy to sphere them. Just in case of sphering everyone else. Now, because they're small, they should be easier. So I'm just going to focus on sphering them ASAP. Do my events. No, I can still have all my events that I can call. It's just old, I'm a great power now. Nice. Better than expected. population's increased, a lot more soldiers. Am I still building ships? Where are they building from? I should probably put a stop to any more shipbuilding I do. Doesn't really cost me much, but well, it does cost me, but it's not really worth it. I should have some navy sort of big enough to like stand my own against Austria if I need to. Come on, guys, you want to be inviting me, right? Let's increase relations with them, because the higher relations I have also means the quicker this will go up. Yeah, it's okay to annoy the rich early on. I mean, what are they gonna do? There's only like 5 of them. Move colonial unrest. Well, and I'm not that. Well, that's not me. Egyptian Asia? What the? Ugh, this is such a weird looking area of the world right now. I need to conquer it all and make it all right. Wonderful. Amazing. I like it. Nice. How's our industry doing? I need to encourage some capitalists at some point. I swore I had more, so I must have done something right. Okay, so if past experience taught me anything, just give the people what they want. I mean, really, just give it to them, because they will rebel. And they will revolt. No, go away, UK. So yeah, as you can probably see from those events, if you pause them long enough, you can, there's like a lot of flavor events. This is why I like the mod. Makes things way more interesting. So state and government, national focus, and war justification efficiency, and diplomatic influence. So should be able to increase dramatically my influence of them now, as you can see. But I should also, ooh, what's going on? State and government, yes. So there gets me another prestige thing. It's like double the prestige, which is nice. I'm not going to do national conference, but why can't I get them help? Oh. Okay, one of the following must be true. Is in France virulence or all of the below, so I need to ally with France. France, can we reverse? But why? So the fact that I became a political great power means they don't want to be my friend. Ugh. Not making it easy. Screw you, France, I don't need you anyway. Start my own place with blackjack and hookers. And it'll be awesome. One of those weird things, that event may need to be handled a bit better. Well, it's not that easy to handle better, it's just the AI in the game makes no sense. So they would have been allies with me beforehand, but the fact that I'm now a great power means they don't want anything to do with me. It's weird. Not that I care. It looks like I'm going to be a great power for a while, and it doesn't look like Two Sicilies is going to become one. So, as long as I spear them soon, I should be able to form Italy without too much of a problem. Time to call to union. So yeah, if I don't take this area, then yeah, I'd have to get some help about these guys. So they're way more willing, they just don't think I'm that strong. Rejoice.